Hello there, I'm Penny Melville-Brown from Baking Blind. I've been cooking across 6 continents, trying to show that disabled people can still do almost anything.
And stop.
And today I'm really lucky because I've got Steve with me, who's also visually impaired, and he's from Fremantle down here in Hampshire. What are we making today, Steve?
We're making a Sri Lankan beef and tamarind curry.
So what do we start with?
First thing, we need to measure out the spices because 2 lots of spices which you put in separately, so it's easier to do it that way.
And how, as a visually impaired person, do you manage to handle spices? I know for me it's one of the most difficult bits because we've got loads and loads of little packets of different curry spices. How do you work that through?
I've got enough vision that with some sort of visual aid I can still read the labels on spices. Smell also helps, but I'm starting off by putting a teaspoon of tamarind paste into 8 tablespoons of hot water.
Yeah.
This is because the paste takes a while to dissolve,
Yeah.
and so it's the place to start, so it's ready for when we need it at the end of the curry.
So what does tamarind taste like?
It's quite a bitter fruit.
We've got the tamarind paste sort of dissolving, so what's our next step?
Here's the Sri Lankan curry powder.
Oh wow, it doesn't smell that different. I've got an end of a teaspoon here and I'm just going to put a tiny bit for a taste. And how much of this are you going to put in, Steve?
3
Teaspoons?
teaspoons of that.
There you go. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, go measure. It's more bitter.
We'd like to say a big thank you to a company called Seasoned Pioneers, who kindly donated the spices to us so that we could make this curry for the Baking Blind programme.
Steve wisely stirred the tin of coconut milk. The solids can sink to one end and make emptying them very messy. All the ingredients are ready, so I sharpened the knife and sliced the onions. Then butter went into the pan.
2 ounces into the pan.
And you put some oil in here?
I put a bit of oil into the pan just to make sure that the butter doesn't burn. It can do, you've got quite a high heat in the pan. So we'll let the butter melt and then we put the meat in.
And we're just going to sear the meat, aren't we?
Yeah. The butter is now melted, so we're ready to put the meat in.
Okay, I'm going to do it by hand because that's easier for me to work my way around the pan. And I'm doing it in a clockwise direction.
Right. This is the last of the meat being seared. So next, if Penny, you can put the onions and garlic in and we'll fry those.
Okay, here are the onions going in, and I've used this board which has got a little bit of a lip round it, which is really useful when you can't see, because it's also forming just the smallest sort of pouring action. So hopefully I haven't got onions everywhere, but that will be a rare opportunity. And here is the garlic coming out of my little garlic mincer, which is great for chopping up the garlic without getting your hands too grubby.
The onions and garlic are now fried and look translucent. First of all, I'm going to put in the first lot of spices, the ginger, the chilies, the turmeric and the curry powder.
Yep.
These I'll cook for a minute.
Yep.
Along with the onions, and then after that the meat will go back in, the other spices will go in, and the tamarind water will be filtered, and just to keep out all the lumps and other bits which haven't dissolved. And finally the other spices.
And we said one of those was curry leaves. Can I just have a feel of the curry leaves?
They've already gone in, I'm afraid.
Let me fish one out.
Yeah, mind your fingers.
Oh wow, there's a big piece of cinnamon there.
Cinnamon in there. Yes.
Ah, you didn't mention cinnamon before. And the curry leaves, I think you can either grow them yourself or you can get them dried or even fresh from the markets, can't you?
You can, yes. I'm just going to put a little bit of water into the pan because the meat, because of the dry spices, everything's beginning to stick to the pan. So I'm just making sure things are not drying out and burning. This is going to cook for about 10 minutes now, and once that's done, we add the coconut milk, put this on the hob and leave it to cook for basically until the meat is tender, which is going to be something around an hour. Now I've just got the last ingredient to put in, and that's the coconut milk. Coconut milk in, and once it comes back up to the boil, we'll turn it down so it's just on a gentle simmer. We sat in the garden to have our first taste of the finished curry.
You were worried that the beef wasn't tender enough, but I think it's there. But it has taken, what, nearly 2 hours? And I think it was worth every minute.
Yeah, it's nice. It's I say beef could have done with a bit longer, and but yeah, I'm happy with it.
What about flavour?
I thought it would have a bit more of a bite. So,
Well, you went cheeky and you took out some of the chilli, didn't you?
yes,
Yeah.
because I was worried. Some people don't like hot curries.
It's delicious. Well
Thank you.
done. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and show me this
It's
dish.
been fun.
Next time I'm cooking with Kate, who comes from one of the local organisations helping blind and visually impaired people. She's showing me her chicken and mushroom pie and a completely useless gadget.